Hello and welcome to Outstanding English. My name is Todd Elpervitz. In this video, we're going to talk about how to create sentences and questions in the past continuous tense. Was, were, and verb plus ing. We use the past continuous tense to talk about an action that was happening at or around a time in the past. This example says, I was preparing for classes at 2 o'clock yesterday. Sometime before 2 o'clock, I started preparing classes, and I continued sometime after 2 o'clock. We also use it to talk about temporary situations in the past. She was living in Russia at the time of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. So she moved to Russia sometime before the World Cup started and left Russia sometime after the World Cup ended. We also use it to describe the atmosphere when telling a story. When the principal arrived in the classroom, some students were watching videos on their phones and others were listening to music. Nobody was paying attention to the teacher. We also use the past continuous tense to talk about parallel actions, actions happening at the same time as one another. The children were doing homework while their father was cooking dinner. These actions were happening at the same time. We also use the past continuous tense to talk about a longer action that was interrupted by a shorter action. We were eating lunch when the doorbell rang. The shorter action is in the past simple tense. We were eating lunch, the doorbell rang, and after we answered the doorbell, we continued eating lunch. And in this example, the longer action is interrupted and stops because of the shorter action. She was playing basketball when she injured her ankle. She had to stop playing basketball because of her injury. The longer action stops. We also use the past continuous tense to talk about plans that didn't happen. I was hoping to go to the concert, but tickets were sold out. If they weren't sold out, I would have bought tickets and would have gone to the concert. She was planning on switching jobs, but her boss gave her a promotion. If her boss didn't give her a promotion, she would have switched jobs. We also use the past continuous tense to talk about past annoying habits. As a youth, he was constantly interrupting his teachers, and my previous neighbor was always slamming his doors. We use time expressions like constantly and always when talking about past annoying habits. When we're creating positive sentences, we have our subject, was or were, and a verb plus ing. So I, he, she, it was, verb plus ing, and you, we, they were, and verb plus ing. When creating negative sentences, we have I, he, she, it wasn't or was not, and a verb plus ing, or you, we, they weren't or were not, and a verb plus ing. Some example sentences are he was working, she wasn't eating, we weren't studying. There are some special rules for adding ing to verbs. We add ing to most verbs. For example, go, going, eat, eating, visit, visiting, read, reading. If a verb ends in a single e, drop the e and add ing. Use, using, bake, baking, have, having. If a verb ends in ie, change the ie to y and add ing. Tie, tying, lie, lying, die, dying. If you have a one-syllable consonant-vowel-consonant verb, double the consonant and add ing. Run, running with 2 n's, get, getting with 2 t's, swim, swimming with 2 m's, and put, putting with 2 t's. For two-syllable verbs that end in cvc and the last syllable is stressed, double the final consonant and add ing. Transfer, transferring with 2 r's, control, controlling with 2 l's, and submit, submitting with 2 t's. These exercises and more are available in a shared Google Doc in the description below this video. You may do these in the Google Doc, in your notebook, on a scrap piece of paper, or in your head. Pause this video as you go through these exercises. Take the verb in parentheses and put it in the past continuous tense. If the verb has not before it, then make it negative. Let's look at our answers together. Number 1 says, our dog was sleeping on the sofa. Number 2 says, I was taking a shower when the electricity went out. Number 3 says, the kids were playing while the adults were gossiping. Number 4 says, he wasn't feeling well, so he went home early. Number 5 says, my previous roommate was always leaving dirty dishes in the sink. Number 6 says, We were cleaning the house when our guests arrived. And number 7 says, she wasn't playing video games, she was studying. To create yes or no questions in the past continuous tense, we have was, followed by our subjects I, he, she, it, and a verb plus ing, or were and our subjects you, we, they, and a verb plus ing. Some examples are, was he sleeping? Yes, he was, or no, he wasn't. Were they sleeping? Yes, they were, or no, they weren't. To create a WH question, we have our WH question word, followed by was or were, and the subject and a verb plus ing. What were they doing an hour ago? They were sleeping an hour ago. Why was your dog barking last night? She was barking because a stranger came to the door. Where were the children playing all afternoon? They were playing outside with the neighbors. For these exercises, unscramble the WH or yes/no questions. Do these in the Google Doc, in a notebook, on scrap paper, or in your head. Pause this video as you work. Let's go over our answers. Number 1 says, why was Anna living in Austria? Number 2 says, what were they doing when you arrived home? Number 3 says, was she sleeping when you called? Number 4 says, where was he driving when he got a speeding ticket? And number 5 says, were you watching TV at 9 o'clock last night? Thank you for joining me today here at Outstanding English. If you like today's content, hit that outstanding like button and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.